Today is Monday the 17th. Today we're going to talk about Coleridge's Kubla Khan. And I want to let you know, and everybody online, all of the midterm grades, I just posted a default grade because they allow you to do that for midterms. And so the midterm default grade for everyone was a B. Because the posts, I've had an incredibly difficult time tracing out where everybody's posted, and I didn't want it to look like the wrong thing. Your midterm grades were just a default B. Everybody got that, and we will be clearing all of that up over the next week. Also, for the schedule, the syllabus, we are behind, but I kind of have to do that for Wordsworth anyhow. It always happens. I should have built more time in. So we are now at Coleridge, Kubla Khan. This is the 17th, and we are behind, but that's okay. We're going to do Kubla Khan today. On Wednesday, we will cover Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn. On the next day on the syllabus, it has Keats' Ode to Melancholy. We will not do Ode to Melancholy. Do not read, I mean, you are welcome to, but do not read for class Keats' Ode to Melancholy. We'll skip that, because we just need one Keats poem, and really Ode on a Grecian Urn is enough. So this, what we'll do is today is Kubla Khan, and today is the 17th. On the 19th, we will do Keats' Grecian Urn, Ode to a Grecian Urn. And then on the 20th, we will talk about Melville's Willie Budd. And we will just continue from there. I'll figure out how to break well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days at the end of the semester where we are presenting papers and review, and we don't need that much time to do that, but I built that in just in case, so we can push things. I'll print it, I'll put a revision for the syllabus on here later this week also. Okay, so today let's talk about Coleridge's Kubla Khan. It is in volume E, and it is on page, it starts on page 813, okay? And you will not be filmed raising your hands, but how many of you have read this since we just got back from home? Who read this? Nobody? Oh, I've got 2 people who read this, and one's not actually in class.
I've read it before.
You've read it before. Okay. Tell me what you know about Coleridge and Kubla Khan from having read it before.
I mean, it's been a really long time, so you might not want to ask me that.
Okay. Anybody know anything about him?
I read it before.
You read it before. Okay. Then let's read it together now. Okay. Why don't we do that? We'll read it together now. Okay. Starting on 813. This is an obvious question. I'm not asking a trick question. Tell me what the title is. Or vision. Kubla Khan, or A Vision in a Dream, a Fragment. Now I'm going to read you another obvious question. Where is the title?
At the top.
At the top. Okay. And then after the title, what is the next line? This is like, okay, a vision. Okay, and then what starts the next line? What's the first line of A Vision in a Dream or Kubla Khan? What's the first line of that? It's
Which line of what?
of Kubla Khan.
Is broken? Didn't all the charms broken?
Okay. Okay, wait, say that real loudly.
Didn't all the charms broken?
then all the charm is broken. Is that the first line of the poem? Don't know. Kubla Khan, okay. Anybody else have a vote? We've got Kubla Khan is the first line of this.
Or is it, or a vision is a dream, a fragment, and all? No?
I don't know. Anybody? Okay, we've got several votes here, okay? We've got, and I know this is crazy. It's like I'm lunatic teacher up here saying, what's the first line? But nobody agrees, so that must be an interesting question, right? We have some people saying Kubla Khan is the first.
Is this just a fragment of the whole poem?
No. And then we got or a vision, and I can't read this because the thing won't erase, and so it's not hard to see it. Sorry. Ugh. You may need to like, okay, this is one possibility, this is another possibility, or a vision. I know this is silly, but it's actually important. And then does anybody, what was your first vote?
And all the charm is broken.
Then all the charm is broken. Anybody else have a vote for what is the first one of Kubla Khan? Where's the title? Kubla Khan, a vision and a dream, a fragment, and what's the first line?
The following fragment is here.
The following fragment is here. Oh, you said that. Thank you. Thank you. Logan says this. The following fragment is here, dot, dot, dot. The following fragment, and we're going to read that part. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, the following fragment is here published at the request of a poet of great and deserved celebrity, Lord Byron. And as far as the author's own opinions are concerned, rather as a psychological curiosity than on the ground of any supposed poetic merits. In the summer of the year 1797, the author, then in ill health, had retired to a lonely farmhouse between Porlock and Linton on the ex-moor confines of Somerset and Devonshire. In consequence of a slight indisposition, an anodyne had been prescribed, from the effects of which he fell asleep in his chair at the moment that he was reading the following sentence, or words of the same substance. In Purchas's pilgrimage, here Kubla Khan commanded a palace to be built, and a stately garden thereunto. And thus 10 miles of fertile ground were enclosed with a wall. The author continued for about 3 hours in a profound sleep, at least of the external senses, during which time he has the most vivid confidence. You might want to highlight that, at least of the external senses, during which time he has the most vivid confidence, that he could not have composed less than from 200 to 300 lines, if that indeed can be called a composition in which all the images rose up before him as things, with a parallel production of the correspondent expressions, without any sensation or consciousness of effort. On waking, he appeared to himself to have a distinct recollection of the whole, and taking his pen, ink, and paper, instantly and eagerly wrote down the lines that are here preserved. At this moment, he was unfortunately called out by a person on business from Porlock, and detained by him above an hour. And on his return to his room, found, to his no small surprise and mortification, that though he still retained some vague and dim recollection of the general purport of the vision, yet with the exception of some 8 or 10 scattered lines and images, the rest had passed away like the images on the surface of a stream into which a stone has been cast, but alas, without the after restoration of the latter. Okay, so what does that mean? What happened to here? What's the literal meaning? Just, yeah, the literal meaning. I'm not looking for an interpretation.
He fell asleep.
He fell asleep.
And he wrote something.
And then he dreamt something. And then he
Wrote
about his dream. And then what happened?
Pulled away.
He was pulled away by a guy who came knocking on the door. And then after he talked to the guy from Porlock, what happened after he talked to the guy from Porlock?
He forgot everything.
Forgot his dream. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now, why did he fall asleep?